video, I'm going to be giving you some solo queue ranked tips for Apex Legends, and obviously I only solo queue because I don't have anyone to play with. But there is a few things that you need to know when going into a solo queue match, and yeah, we'll get straight into it. So the first thing that you need to do before you even start the game is choosing the right character for solo queue. Choosing a character that can help your team but still have like abilities to get away if you're in like a solo situation is really good. So I'd recommend, like, I'm trying to think, basically Wraith is really good, Horizon is really good. Obviously the Horizon meta is a thing this season. But even like Loba or Octane you could use, maybe even Pathfinder. Just people like that to get away if you're in a solo situation. Because say your teammates like leave you and they weren't like communicating with you, you can just still get out and follow them if you're like trapped or in hell, which is really good. But one thing that you kind of don't want to be using, you can still use obviously, but you support legends like Lifeline, Gibraltar, people like that, like Watson, Crypto's okay I guess, and Bloodhound, but like you want to be using them a bit less because yeah, you're not really going to be communicating with your team unless you are. But if your whole team is going attacking legends like Wraith, Bangalore, whatever, you need to go with a support legend like Bloodhound or Gibby, because you need to have some sort of like way to locate people like Bloodhound, or some way to keep safe if you're in a fight like Gibraltar with his dome shield, because otherwise if you're also like attacking and you have no way to retreat or anything like that, it's going to be much harder for you when other teams like pre-made teams will have like a Horizon as they're attacking, have a Bloodhound and then Gibby, stuff like that. It's going to be a lot harder if you're going with attacking things. So yeah, the next thing is going to be how to gain points the fastest in low rank lobbies, which is bronze to gold. Your best bet really, especially in bronze because there's no entry cost, is just to go for kills. And there's no point worrying about losing points, because at the end of the day you're going to be losing points in some of your games. So if you go for kills, you might as well, because it's going to be really easy lobbies, especially at bronze, silver, so they're going to be really easy. You should be getting out of them quite quickly. But yeah, you don't want to be rushing into fights though, because you could run straight in, your team might not be ready and stuff, and you might just get destroyed. So you want to wait to third party really, because of this is like the first rank split of the season, which is King's Canyon, which is very small. It's a very small map, and it's basically third party central. Like, if you hear a fight, you need to go for it basically, because third partying a fight is almost a guaranteed win if you time it right. Because you could wait for the fight to finish and then they're low and then go in clean up the kills, or while they're in a fight you could go in a fight and you might even get more kills. But you always need to be prepared, because there might even be a fourth party or a fifth party around. So you need to stay wary about what fights you actually fight, because obviously if there's a fourth party and a fifth party, you might not have heals, you might have just got out of that fight and have really low health, and then another team will come and another team and stuff like that. So you need to be ready for like continuous fights at certain locations. So yeah, obviously that's quite hard, but lower ranks kind of easy. But if you want to gain points in higher ranks, you want to be really aiming for more placement points rather than kills. You can obviously go for kills as well. Like you don't have to change your playstyle in high rank lobbies, but solo queuing high rank lobbies from like plat to diamond is way harder than like gold and silver. So communication is key. Even if you're not going to be speaking on your like if you're not going to be using your like mic or anything, pinging stuff, like all the ping system in this game is amazing. So you need to utilize that a lot. So pinging like places where there's it's been looted, places where you think there might be people, stuff like that is really good. But obviously having a mod is probably the best, usually the best bet. But anyway, back to that placement points. Winning a game gives you 100 points, which is more than likely going to be double your points. So going for the win is your best bet really in high rank lobbies. Even like second place, you get 60 points, which is really good. So obviously getting to like top 3 is going to give you lots of placement points, and on top of that, getting kills, especially in endgame, kills are much easier to get in endgame. It's hectic than that. So obviously it's much better to maybe land in a good spot, like maybe like on the outskirts, somewhere with high tier loot that isn't going to have too much competition. When you're landing there, it's going to be good, so then you can get to endgame without dying, and you can get these placement points and get more points easier and quicker. Obviously you can drop hot drop and stuff if you want to get kills, but it's much more risky. So yeah, but you need to realise that you will lose games in high rank, especially in high ranks, and you might even go on a losing streak. But what I like to do is, if you are going on a losing streak, maybe take like a short break and play another game, or just practice in firing range for a bit, because then you can get a better mindset and better attitude when going into your next game, which will definitely help you out, because you might be annoyed that you like died off spawn or something, you queue into another game and then you just want to fight everyone or something, which is not good, or you might make bad decisions which can be costly in solo queuing. So yeah, but you want to be still trying to gain points and stuff like that. The next thing is landing location. You want to be landing in a spot with high tier loot, or somewhere that isn't too contested in high ranks. In low ranks, landing where you want, it doesn't really matter where you land really in low ranks, because basically if you die you don't lose too much, and yeah, and also if you want to go for kills you can just hot drop or anything in low ranks, but high ranks you need to be more cautious of who's landing and how many people are landing where you want to go. And right now I should be showing a little loot map I made just now. All of the purple areas are high tier loot and the blue areas are like mid loot. So obviously you can see that all of the high tier loot is around the outside of the map. So you want to be landing somewhere like rig maybe, or artillery, which is good for high tier loot, but it also it isn't too contested. Rig is sort of getting a bit more contested now, to be fair, but artillery is quite a good place to go. And even the new places like Spotted Lake and Crash Site, they're actually amazing, because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but like no one lands here. You get like maybe like 2 teams. I normally like to land like Spotted Lake, because you don't really get many people there, and it's really good loot. But you obviously are on the outer edge of the map, so you're probably not going to be the circle. You might be close, but more than likely you probably won't. So you need to be moving in to circle. Not too soon, because you want to be looting up, but after a good amount of time. And obviously you don't really want to be landing somewhere like bunker, where it's going to be pretty contested. The loot is high tier in the bunker, but outside it, on both sides, it's only mid tier loot. So going there is quite risky, because it's like loads of people go there, and it's not even the best loot you can get. So that would probably not be the smartest move to go. You could land down the south, like where water treatment is, or repulsor, because one, there's that map room, which is mid-tier loot, so you can know where everyone is on the map, and then you could rotate up to repulsor or water treatment, and you can get even more loot, and there's normally people there, so you can just kill them. So yeah, that is the landing locations. Right, now onto the best weapons to use. This season, the Mastiff is meta. Like you kind of like have to have a Mastiff, really. You don't have to, but it is amazing for damage. You can two-shot someone if you actually hit all your shots, which you more than likely don't. But you can hit for like 100 per hit, which is very good. And to be fair, need a little nerf, I think. But anyway, for assault rifles, you want to be picking up like the R301 or the Flatline. They're like amazing assault rifles, especially the R301. It's a very, very good gun. I think it's probably it's my favourite gun in this game. In probably any battle royale actually. It's just so nice and clean. But yeah, it's amazing for close to medium range. And with the addition of the Anvil receiver, it basically makes the 30-30 repeater useless. And you could say the same for the G7 Scout, but like the G7 Scout is pretty good. But yeah, the Anvil receiver obviously makes it so when you single fire, you do basically the same damage as a 30-30 repeater. So yeah, you basically, if you want an R301, but you also want to do longer ranges, just get an Anvil receiver and you'll be good. And moving on to SMGs, obviously the R99 is probably the best SMG. It's very good for close range, but kind of awful for like long range. Well, it is awful for long ranges. Maybe it's a lot harder in medium range to use. But the Volt is also good, even after it's nerfed. It got nerfed by 1 damage, and it's still pretty good. And do you know what? For assault rifles again, LMGs, the Spitfire it's actually pretty good now. Like it has it got buffed damage. It got 1 more damage, and it has a insane magazine size. Like it literally lasts forever. Like the purple mag is 55 shots, which literally lasts forever basically. Like lasts the whole fight. So you can literally spray with it, which is really good. And care package weapons, they're all good. Like if you get one, you should probably pick it up. Especially like the Peacekeeper and the Kraber. And then snipers, you could get the triple take. It's always nice to have. It's basically like a shotgun and a sniper for long ranges. But the charge rifle, you know, is pretty underrated. I actually quite like it. It's the only hit scan weapon in the game, and it's really good for trying to get damage to upgrade your armor. And yeah, that's really good for when you maybe don't get into too many fights. So you can just like try and get some better armor if you're not getting much loot. And obviously the G7 Scout is amazing for mid to long range, and it's in my opinion, it's much better than the 30-30 repeater. I honestly don't like the 30-30 repeater. I don't think it's very good. I guess you could say it's a better wingman, but even the wingman is like sort of better, to be honest. But yeah, I don't really like the 30-30 repeater. But I don't know, you might want to use it. But your best bets are the guns that I've said. The best like loadouts really is like massive R301 or like massive flatline. So you have like a spray weapon and you have your like close range shotgun, which is really good. Or you might want to go with like a R99 and like a sniper maybe. That's quite a good thing to do, because then you can like pick people off from far distances when you get closer in and use the R99. Or you could replace the sniper with like a G7 Scout or something, or just like a Spitfire and have like an R99 Volt or something like that, and like a Spitfire or G7 Scout, because they're like pretty good for longer ranges. Maybe not the Spitfire for longer ranges, but like the Spitfire's pretty good LMG to use. I didn't mention the many energy weapons. I'm trying to. You could use a Devotion with a turbocharger. It is pretty good to be fair, but I don't know. You don't really get turbochargers too often, so I don't really know. I wouldn't really use it to be honest. And the Havoc, it's actually really good to be fair. It like literally melts people, but the recoil pattern is quite hard to get, and yeah, it's got quite a lot of recoil as well. So you could use it for close ranges, mid ranges as well, but like quite far. If they're quite far away, it's quite hard to use. So you could use that weapon, but I probably wouldn't take it to end game. It's a lot harder to use. But yeah, that should be everything. Hopefully your solo ranked experience is a little better now that you've watched this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.